Hey, Robert Zinni here with 5enses webcast. Today we have just an amazing interviewee. His name is Dakota King. He's a prolific actor, a top producer at Remax Mountain Properties, and most importantly, he's a Toastmaster with High Noon Toastmasters of Prescott. So sit back, bask in his glory, and enjoy this beautiful interview with Dakota King.
We are here with Dakota. Thank you for joining us on 5enses webcast. How have you been, man?
Well, thanks for having me, Zinni. I've been all right. It's been a crazy world out there lately, but I think everyone's feeling that, so doing okay.
Yeah, cheers to the new year of 2023.
Indeed.
So my first question is, are you more of a jelly or a jam kind of a guy?
I would have to say jelly. I am a big fan of blackberry jelly, to be sure, but why are you asking me about jelly?
Well, we are going to be talking about Toastmasters, so I was looking forward to know what kind of bread you like for toasts and what kind of jelly you have. So maybe you can make some for us later?
Yeah, certainly. You know, I would love to talk about Toastmasters, but toast itself is a much better subject. I'd like to talk about that for sure. I think rye is definitely the way to go there. However, if we have to talk about Toastmasters, I suppose that I can do that.
Okay.
Toastmasters is an organization that's been around since just about the beginning of time. It's been around, I believe, since the 1800s, and it's been a way for people to work on their public speaking skills, be able to stand up in front of people and give a good it's been a good way of it's a good way of being able to stand up in front of people and give your opinion in the best way possible. And sometimes that means speaking, and sometimes that means verbally. That doesn't make any sense. Let me back up.
By the way, all flubs just stay in.
Perfect.
Don't edit them out.
I mean, it is Toastmasters. So. Toastmasters is just a really good way of making sure that you can stand up in front of people and give your opinion on something without sounding like a complete idiot, honestly. It gives you that ability to practice and practice and practice so that you're ready to do it when the time comes.
All right, excellent. So how did you get involved, or as an adult, how did you get involved with Toastmasters and wanting to create speeches?
Great question. Back in college, someone said, "You've heard of Toastmasters, right?" Because I was in communication studies. I did a graduation speech at Bradshaw Mountain High School that was all about how much I loved superheroes.
Okay.
And I enjoyed that experience so much that when I moved to college, one of the required classes was speech giving. And I was already a little bit comfortable from that one speech. And I really enjoyed just standing up in front of people and telling people my opinions on things. Honestly, having a speech about something is a different experience than sitting down and talking with somebody, because you don't always just get that interjection. You can say what's on your mind and what you're passionate about without somebody interrupting what you're going to say. And that's completely cool and different experience than a lot of people get to feel. When someone came up to me in college and said, "Have you heard of Toastmasters?" My first reaction was, I don't really care about toast. I don't really understand the purpose of that. They explained what it was. And I said, okay, great. I think I will join that because that seems like a perfect experience for me. And it took me 7 years until I finally did actually join Toastmasters after that. During COVID actually was the big point where I was deciding that I needed to make a improvement on myself. And so I joined what was then Yavapai College Toastmasters and what is now High Noon Toastmasters.
High Noon. Okay. Does that mean you have high noon vodka and you drinking it? Or?
I really wish.
that would be a good speech, right?
Yeah, it would definitely
slur.
loosen you up a little bit, get you to be more involved in your speech. Yeah, no, High Noon because they meet at noon, you know.
So Toastmasters are literal what it is, right? Hold on. So Toastmasters aren't toast, but you have high noon. I don't even know if I'm trying to joke about. All right, so All right, I'm trying to understand. At first, I thought we were going to talk about toast, and then now high noon actually means high noon, not the beverage. So that's good. I want to go back to your graduation speech because sometimes public speaking for high school students is very terrifying. Why did you create a graduation speech about superheroes, and what superhero did you highlight?
All of them. All of them. I tried to accent as many of them as I could. This was 2011, and it was just, the MCU was just starting to become a big thing, and I was just in love with superheroes at that time. And the reason I wanted to speak on them primarily was I was having a hard time writing that speech. I wanted it to be inspirational because it was graduation speech, but I couldn't find anything that I was truly passionate about, truly able to give myself to, until someone said, just write about what you want. And so I did. I tried to figure out something that I really enjoy, which is superheroes, and then I turned that into an inspirational speech. What I said in that speech was superheroes are an example to us of the things that we can strive for. And honestly, when I look back on that speech, it was terrible. However, it gave me an experience to be able to be a better speaker later in life.
Nice. No, I'm always a big fan of when I was teaching, promoting ever since like earliest grade. I taught as ninth grade. I'm getting the kids up public speaking because that's like what people are more fear of public speaking than death. So with Toastmasters, who can join your group?
Everybody, unless their name is Robert Zinni, can join Toastmasters. It's open to anybody who is able to speak in public. And the one thing I want to focus on there is that public speaking isn't standing up on a stage and giving your speech. It can be in your office. If your job is to speak to the general public, that can be public speaking. In my job as a buyer's agent for Remax Mountain Properties, being able to talk with people on a personal scale and understand what they're saying is invaluable. Even more so, it works on a personal level too. The amount of times I've used Toastmasters skills in my personal life is unfathomable. Having Toastmasters as a resource to be able to go back and reanalyze some of the speeches, so to speak, but really just conversations that you have with people in your life, it really improves your skills. It really does. It makes you understand that you need to be listening constantly. And that's the other thing people don't really realize about Toastmasters is they teach you public speaking skills first and foremost, but listening skills and critiquing skills are number 2 and 3, and they are just as important as public speaking.
You know, I wish I wasn't banned from Toastmasters because we haven't done the TBD show in a while, and I could really use it because some of the times I'm just slurring my speech, and I think that would help.
I think that's from all that High Noon vodka.
Thumpy Distillery whiskey. So I want to talk a little bit about your acting, but before, can you give us some tips of how to make a good speech?
Oh, yes, definitely. Okay. First and foremost, I would say try to remember back in 8th grade when you were writing a speech, you need a beginning, a middle, and an end. And that's the most important part. However, I would also say that you need to have some passion in your speech. Even if you're speaking on something that you consider super boring. In fact, today I gave a speech on parliamentary procedure.
What is that? Is that like a 17th century English what is that? Is that some like fuck off? Okay, it's the new format. Okay. So what is that? Is that some English? So what is that? Is that from the UK from back when they had the Magna Carta and stuff like that?
Actually, that's where it started, if you believe it.
Oh yeah, okay.
Congratulations. It's what we currently use in our government as well, and it's what is used in a lot of boardrooms. It's the whole I move and there's a second and a majority. I was actually the parliamentarian in college for one of our clubs. And anyway, the whole point of that is you can turn something that is essentially boring into something that is passionate just by rephrasing it in your mind. I am passionate about communication strategies and about having people communicate better in their daily life. And if parliamentary procedure helps you do that, then yeah, I'm passionate about it. And I'm going to put my heart and soul into talking about something that most people would consider boring.
No, I get it. And I want to go back to the point of like communication. I feel like 95, maybe 90% of issues in the world is miscommunication.
Oh yeah, 100%. Miscommunication happens every day, and most of the time I would say it has to do something with technology. It has to do with texting or email, and you don't get that interaction from people. But even when it's not, you can have a miscommunication just by misinterpreting what people are meaning by the things they're saying. And having to step back and say, well, what do you mean by that? Without being aggressive and as a totally open-minded person, it can be completely eye-opening, truly.
No, I agree. In the world of education that I still work in, I would have to say most of the teachers' jobs and my jobs is helping kids learn how to communicate properly. Because they don't have that natural skill like maybe we had to before cell phones. And then they're very comfortable communicating in the abbreviations.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So is there anything else about Toastmasters you want to share with
Boy,
us?
I think that the one thing I would still say is you need to work on your communication skills no matter what facet of your life you are in. If you are retired, you're still communicating. You're still talking with people, whether that's your family, whether that's people that are coming to work for you. Everybody uses communication always. And that's why Toastmasters is literally available and open to anybody that can possibly use it, with the exception of Robert Zinni.
That's okay. You know, it's unfortunate because I feel like Robert Zinni gave you a break of acting because you're also a superb actor. So can you share your experience? Because I met you through Brandon Gabaldon, and then since I met you, you're like in Shakespeare. You had a nice lead in the spelling bee. You are a guest
Yeah, Toastmasters. Anyway, what made you decide to get into acting? Because you, of course, are the most prolific actor of our age. What made you decide to get out there and show your beautiful talents to the rest of the world? So first and foremost, in high school, I was a band kid. And this is a completely different realm for me. But last summer, I decided that I was going to step out of my comfort zone and try something that I've never tried before, which was the New Works Festival at PCA. I ended up going and auditioning for that, and sure enough, Brandon Gabaldon was one of the directors for Everything You Hear and Only Half of What You See. And that experience was just fabulous. Some fantastic people I was working with on that project. After that, it just spun out of control into things that I had never imagined. I'm not an English person, so I really hadn't considered doing Shakespeare before. But when I got to see people going up on stage and performing Shakespeare in such a fun and exciting manner, it was truly a beautiful experience. And it really encouraged me to try something new there too. And it's just been a process of trying something new. Even with the musical 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, that was something I had never done before, being in a musical. And like I said, I'm a band kid, so singing on stage are literally the other two art forms that I was not involved in.
Well, you were brilliant in spelling bee. I thought that was your strongest performance. I'm not going to say the Everything You Hear was your strongest performance because unfortunately you killed somebody that was very close to me on stage. So
Yeah, honestly, I don't remember who that was. They probably weren't that memorable, if I'm remembering right.
I think that guy sucks. So
no, I have no idea who that might be. Kind of looked like me now that I think about it.
Okay.
Strange.
So we're running out of time, Dakota, but I see you brought like a coconut guitar.
Oh,
so
yes.
what is this band kid? And by the way, did you play flute or did you play this in band?
I played tuba, trombone, and euphonium in band. And then I also played steel drum on the side.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And now I play this beautiful lady. Her name is Mandy Lynn.
Okay.
She is a lute, not a mandolin.
So is it the female version? Or non-gender or what?
We're not sure yet. Okay. We're not sure yet. But she's a lot of fun. She's from the 1930s, and she comes from somewhere I don't remember.
It's okay.
but it's just a really nice sound to it, and it's just really fun to bring it out. And a lot of people bring out a guitar and they're able to perform a song just on the guitar, and I am too weird to be able to do something like that.
Okay.
I tried to pick up a guitar and it just didn't work for me.
Okay. Would you like to play like maybe 30 seconds of the song before you plug where we can find more information on Toastmasters?
Ooh, yeah, for sure. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Oops. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Something like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us on 5enses webcast.
Thanks for having me.
Where can we find more information about Toastmasters?
Well, you can find more information at highnoontoastmasters.org. Just go onto the internet and type in High Noon Toastmasters of Prescott and you'll find us. If you want more direct information, you can type in highnoonprescott@gmail.com in your email, and we'll be sure to respond to you as soon as possible.
Thank you for joining us, Dakota. I hope you may find it in your heart to maybe not ban me from Toastmasters, because I think I could benefit from it. But I'm really looking forward to seeing you in your next performance, if there is a next performance. So.
Thank you so much, Zinni. There's definitely going to be a next performance. Stay on the lookout. I'll be somewhere. And you'll be allowed if you're good this time.
You know how bad I like to be, so. All right, so now we're just gonna have a fake conversation so then Jim can put the credits in, and thank you for calling the show.
Hey, thanks for joining us for this 5enses interview with the amazing Dakota King, hosted by myself, Robert Zinni. For more information, go on to 5enses.
MAG.com for more information. You can like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
I was actually surprised by how many times I flubbed anything.
Oh, it's gonna be great.